Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who do not know me, I'm Sarah. I am a Spanish student studying in an international school in Qatar, doing the IB diploma program, or the DP. I'm gonna start my senior year of high school in September. And today I'm going to be talking about the end of Myp Personal Project, that if you're doing the Myp, which is the program previous to the diploma program or the DP, then you're gonna have to do this project in grade 10 or your sophomore year of high school. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to tell you how to get a 7 on this, because personally I didn't get a 7. It is really hard to get a 7. If you know anyone that has gotten a 7 previously on this report, then one thing I am going to tell you is go look at their report, ask them if you can have it while doing yours, because that's gonna help a lot. I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks, some things you can do to get more points on different areas, and maybe some ideas on what you can do, because honestly I think the hardest part of this project is choosing an idea. If you don't have anything that you've been wanting to do for a long time and you have to choose, it's going to be very, very hard for you to get an idea. For me, it was easy because I did starting my own brand, and I wanted to do this for a very long time. So I just took the personal project and did that. Okay, so for starters, if you just finished your grade 9 or your freshman year of high school and you're doing the Myp, and obviously it's summer, so you are obviously thinking about the personal project, probably your teachers, mentors have told you to start thinking about ideas and start researching and everything. Well, this video is for you. First of all, you might be stressed because when do you have to submit this? I submitted mine February, so February of my sophomore year, my grade 10. So I had less than a year to do it. And now is when the first tip or the first thing you have to do. I know you have to do research and planning before you act, before you do the action part, but do your action part in summer. It will save you a lot of time and a lot of headaches. Plus, in summer, especially now with the quarantine, you have so much time to do things. You should do it now, because once school starts, you're not gonna have time. And especially if you live abroad, you don't live in your home country like I did. Like I lived in Qatar when I was doing it. My taking action part, I had to do it in Spain, so I had to do it during summer. And then you might think, well, I won't have time to do my research and my planning and then my taking action all in summer, because that's like 3 out of 4 parts of your report. Well, you don't need to do your research right before doing the project and your planning. I understand you need to have planning to do it properly, but if you want to show planning, you can do it after you've done the action. For planning, you need to do things like making timetables with a calendar. How many hours did you spend doing which activity, the outcome of the activity, what date, things like that. Also, to-do lists, very important, and give samples on your report, like a to-do list written with a date on it of the calendar. That's very important. That's gonna get you points. When I was doing my planning part of the report, see, I did it after I had taken action. I planned when I was gonna do things, but I hadn't written it down. And it's very important that you write it down and you show very explicitly your planning to the IB in order for you to get points in this criteria. As well with the research. Okay, for example, for me, I was starting my own brand and made a prototype, like a shirts and a hoodie. And I researched what are things that are trendy, materials that are cheap or uncomfortable but of good quality. I'm sure that if you want to start a personal project, you have an insight before that. Like, you know what's trendy because you live in the moment. You know, like you see in social media, this is trendy, this is trendy. So you can follow that, and then afterwards do your research and match it up, you know. Oh, I did this because in this article it said it was trendy. Now again, with research, don't only look at articles. That's the biggest mistake you can do. Make sure you have a variety of sources: books, articles, videos. Make sure you have interviews, very important, interviews, and surveys. Surveys are really important for the research and as well for the reflection part, which I'll talk about later. And yeah, you can always match up the research after you have done the taking action, unless you're doing a project that is very complicated, like building a computer or things like that. But you don't have to do the full research. Like, okay, read some stuff, but don't find, like, imagine, for example, you need like 10 sources or more. Don't find those 10 or more sources right before you do it and analyze them and make sure they're good. You don't have to. Find sources that are gonna let you do your project, and then afterwards fill your report with more sources. You know what I mean? As well, you need to analyze those sources. I think we use the CRAAP. Crap. Had a funny name. But make sure you do that. Analyze everything you do, all your decisions. When you choose your global context, why did you choose that one and why not the other ones? Make like a little table on cons and pros of those different global contexts, and then the one you choose, make sure it has more pros than cons, and then explain why you chose this one against the other ones, because that shows your critical thinking. That's very important for your personal project report. At the end, keep in mind, they're not gonna assess on what you did, they're gonna assess your report. So your report is the only one that's gonna back you up, you know what I mean? You can do an amazing personal project presentation with a nice PowerPoint and like a very nice exhibition with like for example what I did, I put my shirts and pictures, but if your report isn't good, then you're not gonna get the grade. And that's what's important. Planning and research. Afterwards, taking action. Make sure you document every single thing you do, every single step of the process. Images, like a diary of you doing, of what you have done each day. If you are talking with people outside that are helping you do the project, like sponsors or manufacturers, if you need parts of things. Like for example, I spoke to a manufacturer in Spain, but I had to do some things via email to make my shirts, and I took screenshots of the emails and translated it, all of them, obviously, because it was in Spanish, and I put that as evidence of my action. Let's say you're writing a book. Well, if you're getting it published or manufactured, then make sure you do it by email or by video call. Take screenshots or samples, written samples of what you have spoken, to show the IB of how you're taking action. And finally, the reflection. The reflection part is, I think, very important, because you might do the project well. You can get, like, you imagine your project is running a marathon. You run the marathon and you do it on your time and everything, but if you don't reflect properly on it, you won't get a good grade. As well, even if you do a project but you're not successful at it, you can still get all of the points for reflection. As long as you reflect and you explain why and how you can make it better, then you will get the points. Now, reflection is really important in the sense that you can't only just say, oh, I did this bad, I did this good. You have to say why and how you can improve this. What I did that I think is a good idea to do is rate yourself, like out of different criteria, like your final product. I did shirts, so like aesthetics, comfort, things like that. And also ask others. I did not only do surveys to ask people what they would like on a brand or on a shirt as my research, I also did surveys for feedback. How did you like my product? Like putting images and things, the color, the aesthetic. And I did an interview to someone in my class that was doing a personal project on running, and they wore my shirt because my brand was supposed to be like comfortable, like sports, and asked them about how they felt using it, what I could change, things like that. And then with all of my feedback, I identified the things I did wrong. I explained why they were wrong. Oh, this shirt needs to use a this shirt's material is not very transferable, so when I'm running I sweat a lot and I don't like that. I want something that's gonna make me feel fresh and keep warmth out. How can I do that? Well, you need to think, okay, I can use a better material, I can use a different color rather than black, make it white so that it doesn't keep the heat, things like that. Okay, that's very important. Now you might feel lost. How do I start my personal project? How do I start my report? Something I did is I used someone's report. You can find a lot of them online. The IB might have examples. Your school, people from your school might still have theirs. They can give them to you. Just simply follow the structure of someone else. This is not plagiarism because, okay, you do get some points for organization, but this is not plagiarism because your project is totally different. Remember, do not copy exactly what they have done, like the words they have used, the amount of words per paragraph. That's just dumb because you're gonna get caught. But like, get inspired. How do they write everything? What do they include? Because that really helped me. And although I did not get a 7, I got a pretty good grade. I got a 5 from the IB and a 6 from my school. And I followed someone that got a 5. So if you want to get a 7, then follow someone's report who's gotten a 7. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's very useful as well with your mentors, your supervisors. I mean, depending on who you've got. I got a teacher. He was helpful, but I didn't get the best of the supervisors in my school. So it's really up to you. If you don't have a good supervisor, it's really up to you. But if you do, take advantage of that. Ask them for feedback as well on how did you use language in the report, because at the end, those little details make the difference. You know, if you use this word or not, how is it structured, what do they think? Ask various people in your class. Maybe also look at how people in your class are doing things, because maybe that might inspire you. Now, on to ideas. You can do anything and make it a personal project. You can lose weight and make it a personal project. You can do body transformations, although these ones are hard because, let's say, right now with the quarantine and everything, it's really hard to stay motivated, especially on like losing weight and things like that. So if you don't think for sure that you can do it, then don't do it, obviously, because it's gonna be a hard time for you writing everything, doing the action part, and you might lose points on that. So instead, focus on things you can achieve. But if you want to do it, do it. You can do anything. You can teach yourself a new language, teach yourself a new sport, or teach others a language or a sport or a skill. You can write your own book. For example, I saw people doing like cooking recipe books, but make sure to like don't just do a recipe book. Like, connect it with something like, with an international food book. Like, you're gonna do this book to help the community become more open-minded towards other cultures, or a vegan book, you know, and if you do that, explain how that helps the environment and also helps your health, things like that. You can write your own album, your songs, and, you know, document the process of how you gained skills to actually perform those songs. You can, what else? You can make your own short film or a movie. even start your own YouTube channel. I know someone that started their own YouTube channel, but this one's a bit tricky because you can't just start a YouTube channel and make different types of video. You gotta stick to one, you know, one theme, and make sure it's like something like that you can reflect upon, or like educational is better, like a YouTube channel about travel vlogs where you talk about different cultures when you visit those places, or like a YouTube channel on science, on physics, or things like that. But don't do a YouTube channel like I'm gonna do a best friend tag, or 50 things about me, because that's not really helping the community, you know. Think about it as well, how you can impact other people or yourself, especially. Like, I don't think saying 50 facts about you is going to help yourself a lot or the community. Okay, it might help you the part of editing the video and things like that, but make sure everything has a purpose that the IB will like. Oh, I'm doing these videos to raise awareness. Like, imagine do a YouTube channel about water scarcity or villages in Africa that don't have water. That's helping people because you're raising awareness and you're educating people that didn't know about this problem, you know. You can do anything. You can make your own art and do an exhibition, design your own clothes and do a fashion show, raise money for charity by doing like a talent show, organizing a talent show. You can do many things. So don't get stressed. And remember, if you ever need anything for your MYP journey or your first DP year, grade 11, junior year, ask me. Comment anything if you need anything down below. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna leave it right here, wherever you can find it. And yeah, if you want any other videos on the IB or you want any help, just message me. Because at the end, the IB, I'm not sure if we're a small or a big community, whatever, we need to help each other, because the IB is one of the toughest things to go through, even though we're privileged, but it's very tough, especially the diploma program. I mean, I'm on my junior year, the first DP year, and it's been so tough, and I can't even think about the next year. It's gonna be even worse, but whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, that you feel less scared about the personal project, and that you really are ready to start doing your project and your report now. Bye.